money, with capitalism. This is how you get people who are in our leadership to really think about why they're here. We're here to really change this. So I'm asking, or we're demanding, Marty Walsh, change the name. Marty Walsh, change the name.
Change the name. All right, up next we have a singer by the name of Nino. Are you still here? Nino.
Hey.
Remarks by Nino. Thank you.
Peace, y'all. Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
So peace, my name is Nino Brown. I'm not a singer, unfortunately. I'm here to talk to y'all about a little about the history of Faneuil Hall, right, and why we need to be out here. Because although we say bye-bye Trump, right, we gotta say now it's time to fight for real change. So Peter Faneuil is nobody that we should immortalize. He was a slave owner, a traitor, and nobody that we should honor with naming any official or public space after. As this country is in the throes of an internal struggle, not to just restore American democracy, but to go beyond it. As nations today are writing, rewriting, updating, and advancing their constitutions like they are in Chile, right? In Chile, they're writing a whole new constitution. We in the United States are having to deal with a fight against the Supreme Court, who are dangerous because they just added a constitutional literist, right? Amy Coney Barrett. Now, if she really is a constitutional literist, then does she believe that black people are 3/5 of a human being, as is outlined in the Constitution? Does she believe that Native Americans are merciless savages, as it says in the Constitution? And if I'm being hyperbolic, forgive me. It's hard to tell these days. But the struggle that we face is not just to save American democracy, but to fight for a system wherein real democracy is not hypocrisy, right? So why are we here today at Faneuil Hall, demanding that the name change? Because far too many in this country believe that the chattel slavery of Africans was a phenomenon that was only in the South. That's false. Massachusetts had slavery not just as a feature of their society, but they drove the transatlantic slave trade because of Massachusetts' position in the developing American economy, right? They became an integral part of the transatlantic slave trade, and they were known for exporting sugar, cod to the West Indies, where some of my ancestors are from, right? So, as my brother said, we live in a capitalistic system, and it wasn't born out of just entrepreneurship, right? It wasn't born out of just a pursuit for life and liberty for everybody, which is why we're here. It was denied to Native people. It was denied to women. It was denied to African Americans. Right? And this is not a hyperbole. So early in Massachusetts colonial history, they had a shortage of labor, where they had to bring in the dregs of European society, not their best and brightest. They brought in their prisoners, right? They brought in debtors, robbers, rapists from their dungeons, right? And the whites who came to this land committed genocide, so much so that there were few to little natives left, and a lot of work to be done to build this country. So who was going to build it, right? Peter Faneuil wasn't going to build it, right? It was our ancestors who built this country. Our ancestors built the land the pavement that we're walking on. So as my brother said, we demand reparations, right? And we know that reparations may not fit in America's original version of democracy, which is why we need to fight for a new version, a new vision of democracy. Because one thing we know is that America needs black people more than we need them.
Yes.
Because the Africans they brought here were not just any old Africans, they were carpenters like Jesus, right? They were lumberjacks, they were blacksmiths, they brought us because we had skills. Now today, I need everybody here to commit to using their skills to fight for a new system where we can have real democracy, where we're not fighting just to change the name, but we're fighting for fundamental rights.
That's right.
So, change the name. Change the name. Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
That's right, we need reparations now, because this time's up.
All right.
Change the name. Change the name.
Change the name.
So, we want, before we have our next performers and remarks, we want everybody to take out their phone.
Take out your phone. Take out
Everybody
your phone.
take out your phone.
Take out your phone.
We want to make sure that you continue to stay involved. So we want you to text DNC to 617-304-5068. Text DNC to 617-304-5068. Follow the New Democracy Coalition on Facebook, Instagram. Text DNC to 617-304-5068.
Change the name.
Change the name.
Change the name.
Change the name.
One more time, please. Change the name.
Change the name.
Up next, we have Alicia. Alicia, sorry. So up next, we have Alicia, and she's right here. Thank you so much.
All right, folks, I was traveling recently, so I'm gonna just swap out the mic. Give me a second. Check. All right, everybody, so this is a song about resistance. Because no matter who's in office, locally, nationally, there is much about our society that we still need to resist, that we still need to build coalitions around, that we still need to come together to fight for. So this song is about building bridges, relationships with each other, and fighting with resistance, which is rooted in our deep love for our world, for each other, for a new system that we can build. So when I get to the part of the song that says resistance, I want you to sing with me and you'll catch along, all right? When I look at my neighbor, I see tears in her eyes. I read news in the paper, I see no surprise. They got guns in our school, children scared on the street, families struggle to provide enough to eat. People killed every day for how they pray, and being black behind the wheel shouldn't make you afraid. But that's nothing new, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And is enough enough?
Yes.
Are we gonna fight this? Is enough enough?
Enough is enough.
We are building bridges for the long road. We are building bridges, we won't stand alone. We are building bridges, this is our home. As you fight for your life, I will stand by your side. Resistance, resistance. As I fight for my rights, I know you're by my side. Resistance, resistance. We are building bridges for the long road. We are building bridges, we won't stand alone. We are building bridges, this is our home. When I look at my neighbor, I see hope in her eyes. It might not be in the paper, still it's no surprise that we're all gathered here resisting our fears, saying no to divides, uniting our fights. They can't tear apart the love in our heart, 'cause we're stronger together. That's how we fight smart, right? We are building bridges for the long road. We are building bridges, we won't stand alone. We are building bridges, this is our home. As you fight for your life, I will stand by your side. Resistance, resistance. As I fight for my rights, I know you're by my side. Resistance, resistance. As you fight for your life, I will stand by your side. Resistance, resistance. As I fight for my rights, I know you're by my side. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Let me hear you. Resistance, 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 resistance. We are building bridges for the long road. We are building bridges, we won't stand alone. We are building bridges, this is our home. Oh, we are building bridges, this is our home. Change the name.
Give it up, y'all.
Change the name. Change the name.
Now we have up next Exit Fame, who's gonna do a rap solo right now for us. Thank you.
How y'all doing today? My name is Exit Fame, and thank you everybody for having me, man. Congrats on the whole election and everything that we're doing. We overcoming and we're prevailing. I'ma just hold this kind of tall. Just press play. Yeah. You know, y'all check me out though, Exit Fame. Shout out Mathematics. But I said, watch it was the sun, how I hit our skin and clear. To make them look at us and think we don't deserve the air. Now I can't breathe, it's a black mother's fear. To hear it from their sons as their life disappears. I ain't a politician, I'm just politicking. And yeah, I like chicken, hot sauce is finger licking. But I also like the idea, grades pay tuition. And for that kid to graduate and open black business. Watching George Floyd, seen the ghost of Emmett Till. Standing over like I can't believe they do that still. I seen a quote from Will, the West has made my soul shake. Racism ain't never left, y'all just caught it on tape. That's close enough to what he said. It's funny how they want us dead, but they women love us more. We like the way they use their head. LOL for ignorance, niggas stood for ignorant. Once the cuffs clink, is guilty till you prove it innocent. George Floyd. Yeah, man. I made this when it happened, man. And I don't do it to exploit that man's name. I just do it to bring awareness. Because I believe we all George Floyd. I believe that we all Trayvon Martin. I believe that we all Sean Gardner. You know what time it is. Exit Fame. Stand for something or fall for anything. Yeah. You're at that cotton picking sign. You out your cotton picking mine. But it makes me proud to see the whites holding up picking signs. Imagine Martin seeing that. Probably make his eye tear. It's like the Germans saying fuck it. Tell the Jews to hide here. Got the spirit of the Django. Iron triangle. To watch a black man die is a record from high angle. It's the same as watching lynching. In the air they dangle. This ain't a color thing, but it takes two to tangle. So I dance, but if I can't trust in no man, and Kumbaya ain't sounding too peaceful as we hold hands. KKK, K hit the K. All police badges, a new way they hide their face. They put their holes through white Banshee. I wanna see how Christ see American History X. Put your mouth on my street. I wanna see how Christ see American History X. Put your mouth on my street, George Floyd. Yeah, man, I'm exit fame, man. Everybody hold your hands up. You know what time it is. You know what we doing. I love y'all. George Floyd. George Floyd. Yeah, man. George Floyd. In no way is a disrespect to that man's name.
Thank you, Exit Fame. Thank you, Exit Fame.
Change the name.
Change the name.
Change the name.
Change the name.
So, we don't know yet. We're asking for the mayor for a hearing, for a public hearing. So that's why we're here. So, you see these wonderful people over here. They're representing what we're calling our auction block. So our fearless leader here, Kevin Peterson, is going to give you a little information about what they're representing. But this is our auction block. These are our slaves. All art is healing. This is another form of art that we're sharing. Change the name.
Change the name. Change the name.
Change the name!
Change the name.
Change the name!
Change the name.
Down with racism!
Down with racism.
Up with democracy!
Up with democracy.
Down with racism!
Down with racism.
Up with democracy!
Up with democracy.
Down with racism! Up with democracy! Thank you everybody for being here. We're halfway through our program. We're so glad that you're here. We're rallying with people from across the city. We were in Copley this morning. We are here, of course, at Faneuil Hall now. We're going to be heading to Nubian Square a little later. Just a moment of recognition, a moment of reflection. Peter Faneuil was a slave owner, a slaver, a person who traded in human trafficking. And we have here symbolized in chains, wearing the names of some of the slaves who were mentioned in the newspapers in Boston during the slavery period in this city. And we are recognizing them, tens of thousands of human beings who came into Boston from the Boston Harbor. And where you see Quincy Marketplace there to your right is where the auction block actually was. So I want to recognize these individuals standing on the auction block as representatives of humans who lost their lives, who entered into a life of misery. So for just a moment or so, as I call their name, remain silent. We remember Prince. We remember Ton. We remember Sambo. We remember Salethiel. We remember Dinah. And we remember, I believe, Sheila. And we remember Proton. Change the name. Change the name.
Change the name. Change the name. Change the name. So now we're going to have some more art by one of our main organizers who have brought most of the artists that have performed. Mathematics, we thank you. Change the name.
Change the name.
Give Mathematics a hand, round of applause.
All right. Peace. Peace out mathematics. And I'm a grateful man in recovery. I say that because I just want everybody to know that you can be a brother that used to be addicted
you should be caught up and you can change. I'm also a grateful father, and I'm a grateful 4-time convicted felon, otherwise known as a habitual criminal. But now I'm up here trying to teach my daughter, you know, what change is all about. So I want to say thank you to all the people that came out today. I want to thank you, all the performers, the poets, the rappers that came out today to contribute. You know, Martin Luther King said, free at last, God Almighty, we are free at last, right? But Martin's not here no more, but mathematics is, right? So mathematics saying, black at last, we got a black vice president that's black at last, right? So I want to say thank you to everybody that voted for Biden and Harris to get her elected. We still gonna have to put in the work, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just happy that I was able to be alive to see a black president and then see a black vice president before I go back to the essence. Change your name is a very important statement. There's 12 letters in change your name. The 12th letter in the alphabet is L, that's love. We're asking Marty Walsh to show the black community and all the blacks in Boston some love and change your name. I got love for Malcolm X. I got love for my ancestors, and I got love for my people. That's why I do this work. I just want to sit there and make it clear. Some people think if you stand up for what's right, that means you're a racist. It doesn't mean you're a racist. It means you're standing up for what's right. You know what I'm saying? Although all lives matter, right? Black lives right now are in danger. Black lives are being convicted at a higher volume than any other race. Black lives are being killed by white police at a higher volume than any other race. So that's why I stand here today putting in this work. I put in that work on the block to protect the block, to protect my seat in the child hall in jail, to protect my drugs. Now I'm coming up here to protect my people. So I got this poem that I wrote. I'm gonna name it, what am I gonna name it? I'm gonna name it a black vice president is black, a vice president is black at last. That's what I'm gonna name it. So bear with me. Prison has us tired. Racial profiling has us tired. Probation has us tired. Parole has us tired. Post-traumatic slave disorder has us tired. Racism has us tired. But black cops in America have us scared. The struggle been real because we live in fear. Prison and funeral homes are filled with black mothers shedding tears. I don't see it getting better because President Trump just don't care. NFL in the street stands for nigga for life. Cops kill a black man in America, not guilty. Of course, the shooter was white. Marty Walsh, can you change your name? It's morally right. Martin had a good bark. Malcolm had a strong bite. If you have a black voice like myself in America, you better be prepared to lose your life. I love all people, but I must teach the truth. Respecting each other must become the golden rule. Rosa Parks wouldn't sit on the back of the bus. Marty Walsh, when it comes to the black community, you're losing our trust. You think Trump's favorite line is make America great again? Trust me, Trump's favorite line is it's okay to kill a black man. Peace.
Change the name.
Change the name. Up next we have Isabelle. Isabelle, are you ready to speak? Isa X.
Change the name.
Change the name.
Welcome, Isa X.
Hold on. Isa X. So I just wrote this on my way here. My name is Isabelle Isabel. I'm a UMass Boston student, and I'm a labor organizer and a conflict resolution, the MBA.
I am here standing in solidarity to boycott Faneuil Hall. I lived in Boston since a little girl. I even did promo gigs right here, but I always felt the racism. I am fighting for human rights. That's why I chose conflict resolution. We need a resolution for white supremacists. Our human rights has been violated for so many years. And I'm 37, going to be 38 on Friday the 13th. And it's been happening before I was born. Boston, Massachusetts needs to be anti-racism, be a role model for other cities, give our black and brown people justice that never received from this country. Our black and brown people at the city of Boston and across the globe needs to heal. And one way we could heal is for our public officials need to listen to the people that put them in office, that believe that they can help them. We are asking to change the name in Faneuil Hall that was named after a slave owner. We need black-owned businesses right here at Faneuil. Change the name. We are here to unite, to organize, and mobilize for racial justice and give our black and brown people the justice that we need. We need resources such as free health insurance, healthy foods, housing, free education. We need justice, and if we don't get justice, there will be no peace.
So we have another performer coming up. Is Sam here? Sam? What about Warrior? Oh, Sam. All right, Sam. Let's give a hand for Sam.
Change the name!
Change the name. Change the name. I'm gonna add another little slogan to that. Change the brains. Change the brains. Because in addition to changing the name, we have to change the thinking, right? And so I'm definitely about transformation and change and dismantling systems of oppression, systems of negativity. But I know that the physical can only be transformed by the mental. So I'm about changing the brain also. So this piece I'm gonna do, I call it an ancestral libation. So this is a libation to our ancestors, all right? Dark skin is a biological condition, a natural chemical called melanin from within, inherited from Eve, a female Homo sapiens sapien, the original mother of the Ethiopian. Get familiar with the East African migration pattern, scientifically uncovered through tracking modern human DNA. You'll understand the truth about human existence and why racial complexion exists the way it do today. From South Asia to India, human genealogies are still the same. In Malaysia, Polynesia, and the land down under Australia, African DNA has never changed. From Mesopotamia to Western Europe, genetic mutation evolved through climatic change, but the ancestral nature of the original African has transformed the global plane. On this earth from birth with dark skin requires no finger pointing, gasping, or blame, because the darker the outer complexion, the deeper the roots have been naturally ingrained. If we really have royalty and loyalty, like Kendrick Lamar said, embedded in our DNA, Why are we so confused about who we are and trapped by what other people think and say? Why do we look outside of ourselves for our own divinity when our natural power is in our core?
That's right.
On this earth from birth
That's right. That's right.
requires no finger pointing, gasping, or blame. Because the darker the outer complexion, the deeper the roots have been naturally ingrained. Thank you.
Change the brain. So we have now, we are going to do the persecution of Faneuil Hall, a dramatic interpretation of the persecution, the end of racism. Thank you.
Change the name.
Change the name.
Change the name.
Change the name.
Nino Brown, you on trial. Nino Brown is on trial.
We need volunteers from the audience to be jurors for the trial of Peter Faneuil for crimes of human trafficking and crimes against humanity. So anyone who is able to be a juror, if you could please go and stand with Reverend Peterson. Thank you so much.
Peter Faneuil's on trial. Peter Faneuil's on trial. The persecution of Peter Faneuil. Peter Faneuil's on trial.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here before you today to bring Mr. Peter Faneuil to trial for crimes against humanity.
Ladies and gentlemen, gather around, boys and girls. It is almost time to start the 2020 Ghetto Olympics. Starring sexy black guy